This is going to be the brutal truth about how the Instagram algorithm works, and no other social media coach would dare tell you the truth. Most artists love to complain. They're looking for someone else to blame why they haven't hit their goals. The algorithm's not working. They'll say, I think I might be shadow banned. My posts aren't getting enough likes. My stories aren't getting enough views. So it's always trying to place the mistake on someone else. But let's look at that for a second, okay? You said my posts. You said my stories. So who's to blame? The algorithm, a mathematical formula, or you? You gotta take accountability, man. Own your mistakes. Like, you have to understand that it's your fault that your success is not materializing quick enough. And I'm gonna tell you how it works. I'm gonna show you how to beat this algorithm if you stay listening, tapped in close. So let me guess what happened. You stopped posting on the feed because of the anxiety of what other people think. You started thinking an artist with this many followers is supposed to have this many likes per post. You switched to Instagram stories because then no one can view your analytics and know how you're really doing. Am I right? We're hiding from the truth rather than accepting that it is our fault. So this is how the algorithm really works. Do you remember when we were kids? Some of you might be too young to remember the game of Top Trumps. So we got given a deck of cards. It might have been Pokemon, supercars, or it might have been wrestling, WWE stars. And there were 4 or 5 different rankings, maybe like power, speed, and health. And you had to compare cards. You had to read out your statistics. I got 96. I've only got 89. Will you lose? The social media algorithm is a game of top trumps. One post versus one post. Which one is more interesting? Which one will make you watch longer? Which one will you share? Which one will you comment on? Which one will make you feel an emotion? It's a game of top trumps, man. So let's talk about the first factor of the Instagram algorithm. It's called reach. So reach is basically your visibility on any platform. The number of eyeballs that see your post. Don't mean they react to it. Doesn't mean they like, comment, view, or engage. So the algorithm basically takes a brand new post that you have made and it shows it to a tiny percentage of your audience. Might be 5 or 10%. I don't know. The number ultimately doesn't matter. But peep this. See what happens. They show your post to 5 to 10% of people and they play a game of top trumps. You versus someone else. Maybe it's a friend. Then they play you against a musician. Then they'll play you against a brand. Then they'll play you against a celebrity. If you win the battle of top trumps, you go to maybe 12 to 17% of your net audience. If you win again, it might be 19 to 22%. If you win again, it's 23 to 32%. And the game goes on and on and on. But if you lose a game of top trumps against somebody, they cap you. That is your max reach on the post. And then it will kind of tail off after that. So be real with yourself. Do you think your posts are exciting enough to win in a competition against someone else's post? Because so many musicians are focusing on promotion instead of emotion. Let me repeat that so clearly for you. You're focusing on promotion instead of emotion. So when you're trying to get people to listen to your song, you're not telling them why it's worth listening. When you're marketing a music video, you're not telling them that the little boy inside would have dreamed of this moment of releasing a debut music video. So you almost have to market your music to the younger version of yourself. So that's the first factor of the Instagram algorithm. You won in the game of top trumps. Now we got to focus on the second factor, which is frequency and how you build it up consistently. So I want you to imagine this, right? Imagine you got fan A. And fan A goes on Instagram and TikTok for 2 hours a day. Every single day, they're going to like 10 posts only. No more, no less, just 10 posts. So they're doing that forever and ever and ever. Then you got rapper B, and he shows up. Rapper B is going to post every single day, 7 posts in a week. And rapper C says, you know, I feel a bit anxious. I'm only going to post once a week. So if we fast forward by 1 month, you know, fan A is going to consume 300 pieces of content, right? 10 a day, 30 days, 300 pieces of content. So therefore, rapper B is going to be 28 out of 300 of those pieces of content. Rapper C is only going to be 4 out of 300. By the consumer behavior, the algorithm is being told that rapper B is 7 times more popular than rapper C. So whenever fan A signs on to the social platform, rapper B will be right at the top and rapper C will be right at the bottom, if at all. When the stories refresh every day, rapper B will be right at the front and rapper C will be right at the end. Because fan A is educating the algorithm, they like the person who shows up the most. Who would you interact with more? The person you saw every day or the person you saw hardly ever? Frequency leads to affinity, man, I'm telling you. The more you can show up with a message of education, entertainment, excitement, or engagement with your audience, the more they will connect with you. It's the staple of everything on social media. So that is the second factor of the social media algorithms, which is frequency. So now we got to talk about video. So let's say you have a music video and you think that it's dope. You put it on your stories, you put it on your feed. And 2 hours later, guess what? The views are rock bottom. Do you want to know why? Attention. You haven't done enough to direct people's excitement over to your post. The signpost of your marketing is broken. No matter how amazing the content is, no matter how great it is with the music playing in the background, if you don't excite people enough to press play in the first place, they can't enjoy your material. Maybe the video opened with a long, slow, cinematic shot. Maybe the intro was just far too long of this instrumental and you didn't actually get to the hook where you start rapping or singing for the first time. We live in an attention economy. You have 1.5 seconds at most to get people's attention. While they're scrolling the feed, while they're swiping on TikTok, while they're tapping through stories, 1.5 seconds at most. If you are wasting people's time, they won't give you their time. So once again, we come back to accountability. You didn't catch their attention enough. It's not the algorithm punishing you. You got to take the blame. You chose the timestamps. You wrote the caption. You posted it. Like, what did the algorithm do but facilitate what you asked it to? Own your mistakes, man. I'm telling you. Let's talk about this mathematically. Let's dive into some numbers here. A video, there's a statistic there called average video completion rate. And it basically means what percentage of your video did people watch. So let's say in the example, you have a 3-minute video. If people watch 18 seconds, that's a 10% average video completion rate. So the algorithm is being told, well, only 10% of people are watching it, the whole thing. So let's not show it to more people. But if you post a shorter video, maybe 15 seconds long, people watch 10 seconds out of 15, then there's a 75% completion rate. That's telling the algorithm, well, it's doing pretty well, you better show it to more people. If people are commenting on it, if people are replying to your stories, if people are engaging on the poll, the quiz sticker, the slider, it's telling the algorithm, this thing is working. Show it to more people. And I'll give you the best example possible. If you go on TikTok or Reels, you can watch a video 3 times over because they loop. And then you might come back a 4th time to show it to a friend. Guys, that's a 400% completion rate. No wonder they go viral, because you're telling this algorithm how great the content is. So take a hard look in the mirror. Like, look at your own video, look at your own marketing. Is there enough hype in the way you do things, or are you giving instructions? Hit the link in my bio. Watch it on YouTube. Listen on Spotify. That's an instruction. It's not an emotionally charged statement. So that's the third factor of the social media algorithm. The first was consistency, the second was reach, and the third was video views. But the last thing that I leave you with is comparing an album campaign to a house of cards. So if you think about an album campaign, there's multiple singles involved. There's multiple weeks involved. There's so many different moving parts involved in the success of an album campaign. You need PR, organic, paid, radio, press, then you need a playlist, all to hit at the same time. So when you do that, you're building a house of cards. You have a solid foundation, and you build the campaign on top of that. So if you come out of ghost mode, of not posting for a long period of time, and you announce new music, you have a very narrow base for your house of cards to build on. So then you can't build a tall house of cards because you haven't got the foundations right. But if you've been pushing with consistency and you've been growing every single time, you have a really wide base. And then you can build multiple tiers in your house of cards on top. So I think that is how you build a game-changing campaign, is you show up to attract reach. You do it consistently every single day to increase your frequency. You make all your videos pop, and you do this at scale throughout the whole duration of your single, your EP, or your album campaign. So that, my friends, is how you beat the Instagram algorithm. So from the bottom of my heart, I hope this video is impactful, motivating, enlightening, and I hope you find your purpose in marketing your music with focusing on emotion instead of promotion, all right? So thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned for next week. We have a big announcement we're gonna make. We've been working on it since before the holidays, and now it's time to let the world know what we've been cooking up, all right? So keep an eye out.